Hello everyone, my name is Elias. Welcome to another YouTube video. And according to the title of this video, I'll be talking to you guys on the 10 rules of money, right? So understanding the rules behind money is very important. A lot of people just say money, money, money. They just talk money, they hear money. They don't even understand like the rules behind money. So understanding the rules behind money helps you in a lot of ways, right? It helps you on how to save your money. It helps you on how to manage your money and even multiply that little money or whatever money that you have, right? And before we jump into the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and turn on the notification bell, right? As you'll be helping in making YouTube algorithm to recommend this video to other people and they can also gain value just like it. So let's get back into the video. I'll be starting the rules from number 10. So number 10 rule is opportunity cost. Right? An opportunity cost is simply the value of the next best thing you give up when you make decisions on spending money, right? And what this means is that every time you make decision to buy something or to spend your money on, right, you are possibly losing on something else, right? That you could have spent that same amount of money on and made better return on investment or reap better benefit from. And why this happens most times is because most people don't do their research very well, they don't do their homework very well. So just know this that every time you spend your money, right? Every time you spend your money on something, there's something else. There's another option that you could have spent that money on, which also could have more benefits than what you are spending your money on. And for example, there are different things for you that you can actually invest your money in, right? You can invest your money in stocks, you can invest your money in real estate, you can invest your money in commodities, a lot of different things that you can invest your money in. So let's say, for instance, you decide to invest your money in stocks, right? At that particular period, to you, you feel like investing your money in stock is the best investment decision for you to make. But whereas the market may be saying otherwise, right? It might be the real estate market that actually has more or better return on investment if you have invested that same amount of money into real estate. So a lot of people miss out on potential return on investment or potential benefits that could have made, right? Because of they don't have much information, they don't have enough knowledge, or possibly they've not done their homework very well. So just know that every time you make a decision, there's always another option that could have been better, that could have more return on investment, or could even have more potential benefits. You just don't know, right? So that's why it's essential for you to do your homework very well. So that when you're making your decision, you don't miss out, right, on potential benefits or higher return on investment that you could have had. So that's basically it. Number nine is leverage. And what this means is that you are making use of existing money in a way that helps you to make more money, right? And of course, you're not doing money juggling here. You are not trying to bet your money on something, There are things that you can actually invest your money and put your money into better. Over time, it makes you more money. Of course, also it's not magic. It does not happen overnight. It takes time. So when you have an existing amount of money, right, you don't need that money urgently. You don't want to spend that money on something urgent. Of course, like you need to spend the money, but whatever you want to spend the money on can still wait for some time. So in that period of time, you can actually invest that money into something that's going to generate more money for you. So at the end of the day, you can buy whatever you wanted to buy and you have the money to buy and you still have more change in your pocket. So what are those things that you can actually invest your money into that gives you leverage and helps you to actually increase or multiply that money? You can invest your money, in stocks, you can invest your money in real estate and other options of things you can invest your money into. But if you don't even have like enough money to invest in real estate, right? You are a student just like me, and you probably save like $100, and you can't invest in real estate $100 because you need more capital. So basically, what you can do is that you can invest in yourself. Learn a skill like graphic designing, like video editing, whatever it may be. Just learn a skill. Right? It takes time before you can monetize your skill. But then, of course, as I said before, you're not using that money urgently. It's not urgent $100. It's not your last money. Right? It's money that you have saved up to do something. And that thing can wait for some period of time. So when you learn a skill, let's say fast forward 6 months, you've learned that skill, you are probably good to some extent with that skill. Then you start having clients, right? When you have clients, you do video editing for them, you do graphic designing for them. Now you start to make $200, you start to make 300, you start to make $500. In that sense, you probably doubled the existing $100 that you had and you're able to make more money. So now you're able to buy whatever I wanted to buy and then still have extra money in your pocket. Number eight is capitalizing on crisis. And when I say capitalizing on crisis, I don't mean that you're taking advantage of people because of their born need, no. Or maybe when there's a natural disaster, you're not selling a gallon of gas for $20. That's not what I'm talking about. It don't make a bad society, a bad thing. What I'm talking about here is that when some things occurs, like during the financial collapse in 2008, or a very good example is COVID-19. When COVID-19 occurred, right? It changed a lot of things. The way people spend their money changed to some extent. People were no more going to offices again. They were working from home. A lot of things changed. People demand of things for people changed, right? Most smiles skyrocketed in demand. A lot of things changed. So what I mean capitalizing on crisis is that when these kind of things happen now, you don't have to look out for what do people need at this particular time, right? Because the thing just happened suddenly. Nobody was expecting. So there was a sharp change in the needs of people. Okay, what do people use very quickly? This is the time you want to sit down and you want to think, okay, what does people need? What does people want to buy that they're not able to buy easily? Right? You sit down, you think of situations like this, and then you capitalize on that situation, right? To benefit people, and of course, you're also making money in the process. Number seven is taxing, right? How you can act your tax. And what I mean here is not tax evasion or tax fraud. I'm not talking about anything legally. Like I'm talking about taking advantage of tax loopholes. And this is what rich people actually do, right? They can take advantage of tax loopholes. So they pay the least in taxes. Honorable Buffett famously once said that he pays less in taxes than his secretary. Please, who is richer? Of course, Warren Buffett. So you want to see that, you want to check, and you want to study or look out for tax loopholes that you can keep into or take advantage of. And if you want me to make a video, on tax loopholes or tax loopholes that are out there and I can take advantage of, just let me know in the comment section below. And of course, I'm going to make that video for you guys. Number six, you have to understand that your network equals your net worth, right? So you have to have a network of people, that can directly or indirectly contribute to your financial independence. Let me just put in general people that have the same mindset as you, right? And of course, that the famous saying goes that the people that you flock around it will determine who you are, right? So if your friends are rich people, go getters, have ambitions and plans, and those are the kind of people that are around you. Of course, definitely that will show up on you too. But if your friends are people that don't have goals, people that just drink a lot, go to clubs, that's what they spend their life on. Of course, going to rub off on you too. And in creating this cycle of people now, you don't have to be desperate or going up to rich people, can I be your friend? Can I be no, you don't have to do all that, right? There's this thing like having this kind of friendship can always be on a mutual basis, right? You have something that you can offer to them, and they also have something they can offer to you. That's how it is. So whether you have a skill, whether you have a skill or you are good at something, and you feel like okay, this person has money, right? And I can help this person in this area. Of course, that's emotional relationship, and then before you know it, you have network of people that you want to have. Number five, this is actually one of my favorite sunk costs. And sunk cost simply means any money, time, resources that you have spent and you can't get back. Now, so for example, now you started a business, right? You have put money into the business, you have put time into the business, but the business does not seem to commensurate the time or money you have put into it. So now you are faced with two decisions. Do I pump more money into this business and try to see if I can push it, or I just simply stop and move on to something else? So you sit down, you count your costs, and make your decisions. But now, what sunk cost now means is that for the fact that I have put money into it, right? For the fact that I have invested time into it, it should not allow you to blind your final decision, right? Because some people be like, no, I put money into this thing. I have to just put more money into it to see if I can push it forward. No, for the fact that I have put money into something, I have invested time into it, does not mean you have to put more money into it. You have to put more time into it, right? If you have sat and you see that this thing might not possibly work again, when it's time to pull out, you pull out, right? And you then move on to other things. Number four is compound interest. And Albert Einstein once said that compound interest is its wonder of the world. So what does compound interest mean? I know a lot of people have heard about this, but what does it simply mean? It simply means that your money gains interest and multiplies over time. Now, one thing is one key factor is very important in compound interest, which is time. Right? Your money does not just grow or does not just increase or multiply just magically or instantaneously, right? It's over time. So whether you invest in the stock market, whether you invest in real estate, or whatever you put your money into, right? Over time, it starts to gain interest. The value of that thing starts to grow over time. And that's why in one of my other videos, I talked about starting to invest early. Like because when you start to invest early, you have the advantage of time. And a good example is the S&P 500. Let's say you invest in this S&P 500, you invested $5,000 in the S&P 500 10 years ago. Your money would have increased to a whooping sum of $20,300. And if you invested that same $5,000 20 years ago, your money will have increased to $33,150 using an average return of 10%. So that's basically it. Number three is keeping up with the Jones and Joneses. Now, here, this one is more of a psychological thing. You have to understand that everybody is not the same. Not everybody has equal fingers. Like not everybody has equal source of income. So because of your friend bought a brand new car, you also want to keep up with your friend, buy a brand new car, or because of your wife's sister, mother-in-law. I don't know if that makes sense. Or your friend bought a new dress. If you want to look, you want to look along and you decide to buy that new dress. No, please spend within your means. If you don't have the money to buy an iPhone 17 Pro Max, don't buy it. Don't go and take loan to buy a phone. Don't go and take loan to buy a car because you can't afford the car. No, just spend within your means. Be disciplined, invest, and put the other rules of money that I've stated, you put them into account and make sure you make use of them well. With time, you also be able to buy these things later in life. So if you are not able to spend or afford something, if you are not able to afford something or buy something, but because of your friends are buying it, of course it happens. We are humans. I mean, we are humans. It's natural. You want to buy it, but then that's where discipline comes in, right? Spend within your means so that you don't go into debt. And debt is a very bad, wicked, dreadful thing. Because when you're into debt, it causes a lot of problems. Right? And I'm not going to go into all that today, but of course you need to avoid debt. And that takes me to number two, which is good debt versus bad debt, right? So when we talk about good debt now, good debt is what people like investors actually make use of, right? In the sense that, for example, now they want to buy a big property or whatever, they put a percentage of their own money down and they, you know, take the remaining money from the bank to secure a property. And of course, they are making investment, they know what they are doing. So because with time, that property or whatever that they have acquired will go in value or they can sell for a profit or whatever. So they take on debt, to make good investment. They are making investment. They're not taking on debt to go and buy fast cars or to spend flamboyantly or whatever. No, they're taking on debt to make investments, and that investment in return helps to pay back up their debt. So that's a good debt. Another type of good debt we can also say student loan too, right? Because when you take your student loan, after you're done with school, you have learned a profession, and that profession is able to get you a job. So when you get a job, right, you are able to now make money and then pay back the debt that you owed or pay back the loan that you have taken. But when we now talk about bad debt, for example, credit card debt, because of you are taking loans for flamboyant lifestyle, or you want to have a birthday party, you want to go and take loan from the bank to throw birthday party. Who are you trying to please? You're trying to please somebody and trying to incur debt. So that's a very, very bad debt. Something they can afford. If it's something you can afford, right? You don't need to do extra, right? You can actually live even though you don't have that thing. You don't need to actually incur debt. Because you're not investing that money. You don't want to spend it on the birthday party. After the birthday party, you're in the bank money. And then now start struggling to pay. You could have avoided that. So that kind of thing is actually bad debt. So good debt versus bad debt. You know what good debt is and you take advantage of it. You know what bad debt is and you avoid it. And the last but not the least is money does not buy happiness. So, of course, we are chasing this bag. You must have this money, but put at the back of your mind that you have to also, in process of chasing this bag, you have to also do things right that brings happiness and love, like spending time with your family, with your friends, as I've said before. So, yeah, I hope you've learned one or two from this video. Right? These are the 10 rules of money that I feel like are very important for you to know. It will help you in saving your money, it will help you manage your money, it will help you in probably even multiplying your money. So don't forget, if you have not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and turn on the notification bell so you're notified when I drop my next video. See you guys in the next one.